So if you're a leader today, the big question isn't if you should be using AI, it's how. I mean, how do you actually build this incredible new capability into your company without, setting a pile of money on fire or just causing total chaos? Do you try to build it all from scratch? Or is there a smarter, faster way to get there? Let's unpack this because making the right call here is absolutely critical.
Okay, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at why building in-house feels like the right move for most leaders. Then, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden complexities that almost always pop up. After that, we'll talk about the huge shift AI forces on your entire operating model and how an agency can actually speed things up. And finally, we'll lay out the strongest path forward.
All right, let's start at the beginning. We're going to acknowledge the most logical starting point for any sharp organization when a new technology like this comes along. It's the first question on everyone's mind, right? And it makes perfect sense. Why would you pay someone else for something you feel like you should own and control yourself? I mean, it's about building your own internal muscle, it's about ownership. Those are really powerful drivers.
And, on paper, the logic is just so clean. You hire some smart AI people, you buy the best tools, you run a few pilots to show it works, you plug it into your existing systems, and that's it. You own it. It sounds simple. It sounds like you're in control. But, and this is a big but, this is where that clean logic runs smack into a much messier reality.
And this is that messy reality. See, the biggest hurdles that trip people up with AI, the things that kill budgets and stall projects, they're not really just technical. They are deeply, deeply organizational.
Let's talk about talent for a second. Right now, finding people who can talk about AI is incredibly easy. But finding folks who have actually built, scaled, and governed a real AI automation system inside a complex company, well, that's a different story. It is so hard. You're not just hiring for smarts, you're hiring for scar tissue. You need the people who've seen it break, who know what mistakes to avoid because they've made them. That kind of experience is almost never just waiting for you on the job market.
And this just nails it. Getting one little bot to work in a demo, that's the easy part. It's fun. The hard part is building the entire operating system around it, the governance, the security, the reporting, the part that actually watches your costs. Without that foundation, your first amazing bot just becomes a very expensive science fair project, not the future of your company.
And this is all the stuff that happens the day after your successful demo. Suddenly, you're slammed with all these unglamorous but absolutely essential problems. Things like memory. How do your AI agents actually learn over time? Or supervision. How do you make sure your bots aren't contradicting each other? And you have to get really good at model selection and token economics, which is just a fancy way of saying you have to pick the right tool for the job and make sure you're not accidentally burning through cache on every single query. This is the real invisible work that makes or breaks an AI transformation.
But wait, there's more. Because all those technical details create this massive ripple effect, and it forces a much bigger, much tougher conversation about how your entire company is structured.
If you take away one thing, let it be this. AI is not just another piece of software you install on a Friday. It is a fundamental redesign of your operating model. It changes how work gets done, who or what does it, and how you manage the whole shebang. Just think about it. The minute AI agents start taking over tasks, the jobs of your human team members have to change. All your assumptions about headcount just go out the window. Those process maps you've had on the wall for a decade, they have to be completely redrawn. And maybe the hardest part, your managers have to learn a whole new way to lead a hybrid team of humans and AI. This is a massive change management lift.
And that's exactly why bringing in an outside view can be so powerful. Look, your internal teams are brilliant. They know how to run your business today. But they're also naturally limited by, well, this is how we've always done it. Real transformation demands that you challenge those assumptions. And an external partner can do that, because they've seen how other companies do it, and their only focus is on your future state, not your past.
This image just makes it crystal clear. On the left, that's the typical go-it-alone approach. It's a bunch of fragmented experiments, governance is an afterthought, and you waste a ton of time on rework. It's chaotic. Now, the path on the right, the agency-guided path, it starts with the operating design first. Governance is baked in from day one. You get consistency, you get speed, and you get to a useful company-wide system so much faster.
So that brings us to the real role of an agency. And it's not to replace your team, it's to be a strategic accelerator.
A good agency brings one thing that's almost impossible to hire: pattern recognition. They've seen this movie before. They know the pitfalls because they've helped other companies navigate them.
They get that this isn't about buying a tool, it's about re-architecting your workflows. Their value isn't magic, it's just hard-won experience that helps you get from a demo to a real, scalable system without all the drama.
So, how do they actually do it? Well, a great partner starts with your business process, not the tech. They build with real architectural discipline so you're not fixing mistakes 2 years from now. They build in governance from the start. They're experts at translating your big picture goals into technical reality. And here's the most important part. Their final job is to make your team stronger, to work themselves out of a job, not create a long-term dependency. And what do you get from all this? Real business outcomes. You get to useful deployments faster, you waste way less money on rework, you get consistency across the whole company instead of a bunch of siloed little projects, and for you as a leader, you get confidence, you get oversight, you get a transformation that feels under control, not like a runaway train.
So, where does that leave us? Let's bring this all home and talk about the strongest, most practical way to move forward.
Let me be perfectly clear about this. The goal here is not to become dependent on an outside firm forever. Not at all. The goal is to use their focused experience to accelerate your own internal team's strength, to get them up to speed faster and with way less risk.
And this really frames the whole conversation perfectly. Of course, you should build your own internal capability. That's a given. The real strategic question is, what's the fastest and safest way to get to a truly governed, scalable system that actually works?
So, I'll leave you with this last question to think about. That desire to own this capability is the right instinct. But are you maybe confusing the desire for ownership with your organization's actual readiness to take on this massive challenge all by yourselves, right from day one?
The strongest path forward is pretty clear when you look at it this way. It isn't a choice between building it yourself or hiring someone. It's about building your own internal strength with expert guidance. That's how you navigate the complexity, that's how you avoid the big mistakes, and that's how you get to real success faster.